Whenever you do anything, be it philosophical, be it materialistic, be it anything at all, you're creating. And the act of creating is art. And I think that's what makes us human. That's what's so special about making art. It's that spontaneity. It's that everyone makes art, whether or not they think they're an artist or not.
We Dance for Change is a nonprofit organization founded 5 years ago to bring awareness to social causes through using the performing arts. It was especially fitting to use this organization, blended with my own Estonian background and its history of gaining independence through the singing revolution, and to link in with the United Nations to support those affected by the war in Ukraine.
I am the Deputy Head of Office for a part of the United Nations Secretariat called the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, or OCHA for short, is how it's known within the system. Almost the entire population has been impacted or affected by the war. Population pre-war is about 43 million. We now see about 8 million people who have become refugees in other parts of Europe and further afield. And internally, you have about 5 million people who have been internally displaced. And so out of a population of 43 million, you have about 13.5 million, or over a quarter of the whole population has been displaced. All across the country, people are still accessing the arts. The history of high value of the arts in Ukraine is well known, and people continue to use it. And I think it's important because people need an escape. Obviously, the reality of war is terrible. But at the same time, life goes on, and family life continues, and you need to have ways to escape the reality, or conversely, have ways to express the reality. And of course, art is good for both of those ends.
The war in Ukraine continues to have devastating consequences for the country's children. Active fighting, shelling, and strikes threaten children and their families, particularly in the frontline communities. At the end of 2023, 3.7 million people remain displaced inside Ukraine, while 4.6 million have returned to their place of origin, including 2.8 million who have returned to the east and south. Children continue to face a heightened risk of disease, family separation, violence, trafficking, and unexploited ordnance. Nearly 2 million, or half of all students, remain reliant on online or blended education, with 2,321 schools across the front line closed for safety reasons.
Hello, my name is Vlad Ponomarenko, and this tribute is especially meaningful to me because of my family roots. Both my mother and father grew up in the former Soviet Union. My father in Kyiv and my mother in Uzbekistan and later Moscow. I am fortunate enough to have grown up in the United States of America, where my core liberties are protected. However, my family isn't as lucky, and it remains divided along the border between Russia and Ukraine, about 4,000 kilometers apart. 3 days ago, my father was FaceTiming with his best friend from primary school, Pasha, who still lives in Kyiv. And he told me something that I wanted to share with you all today. In his words, "This is not a conflict, it is a war and genocide. I have been lucky enough to remove my son and daughter from danger, but their classmates, who are 18-year-olds like you, have been conscripted and bled out on the front lines from mortars and artillery shelling. Those who try to rationalize Russia's actions are blind to its war crimes and are ignorant of the possibility that one day Russia will be taking their sons and daughters."
We wanted to choose a piece that encompassed the feelings of sadness and despair, but most importantly, hope for Ukrainians. So I think one of the most inspiring parts of the whole performance was being able to achieve such a level of harmony that we did in such a short amount of time. It was certainly a unique experience to play a duet with Sirja's dancing. because I'm used to solo performances, but through our joint rehearsals, I got to experience a really unique process. Rather than working alone, playing alongside a dancer allowed me to fuse my creativity with Sirja. I had to kind of alter the expression that I used on the piano piece, and we both had to accommodate to each other. I had to accommodate to the style of the dance that Sirja was doing, and Sirja had to accommodate her dance to the style that I was expressing.
Développé, 1 and 2, keep pulling up the standing leg. I am originally from New York. I grew up in Queens, and after having gone to the School of American Ballet, I came down to Miami to join the Miami City Ballet as an apprentice. And I actually danced with the company for over 20 years. I think it was 23 in total, and I was a principal dancer for 15 of those years. Being a part of this tribute to the Ukraine is so incredibly special. It's always wonderful to become involved with my students on any kind of level that is either apart from ballet or combines ballet with one of their other interests. I think we agreed that we didn't want anything that was too happy, because it's certainly not a happy event, but it's a hopeful event. And so we wanted to find pieces of music that would express both a sense of gravity and weight, but also light enough to evoke a sense of hope.
I've always been drawn to artistic movement, and I'm able to express myself, and I've grown through dance. And specifically, ballet has been very heartfelt to me. Well, I was very excited and honored to perform this piece. This is my first tribute piece, so I was really excited about that. And especially knowing that this is for such an impactful and important cause, you know, it's very heartfelt.
And up, heel under, hips rotated, battement.
So for a piece like this, there is a lot of preparation that goes into it. We first have to start with our concept rehearsals, just getting the initial idea together and really trying to work out how we're going to move with this choreography and how we're going to really move our bodies so that we can show all the emotions we want to show.
So I think my favorite part was the ending, where both of us had our 2 separate solos, and we come back on stage and we formed this circle. It was just like, it was kind of like a sign of unity. It was very cohesive, and we were very synchronized. It was all together. It was really went along well with the music.
I started the Teach It Music program at Tucker because I remember when I was in elementary school, there wasn't really that many opportunities for music learning. The experience I had with teaching them the Ukrainian national anthem was really interesting because I saw that they were so enthusiastic about learning something new about a new culture that wasn't really familiar to them. They don't really have a lot of ties to Ukraine and Ukrainian culture, so it was really interesting to see how they sort of were willing to take up something new that they've never experienced before and work so well with it.
I joined the Ukrainian committee because I think the way that we decided to express its motive of showing and helping express the history behind the Ukrainian conflict was so unique.
When you face adversity or incredible challenges, to see the strength of the human spirit to survive, to continue, I think that's what I've learned most, to see how strong people are when they are faced, not people, let's be direct, the Ukrainian population, how strong they are, how resilient they are, how they've been able to stand up and stand together against the challenges that they face. That they do.
I believe the emotional impact of performances create a common ground for different generations to communicate. And I believe the reason for that is also the common ground is that music chooses certain people. My grandmother was chosen, my mother, and I feel that I was chosen by music too.
The arts connect us.
The arts are a means of education.
The arts empower us.
The arts enlighten us.
The arts inspire us.
The arts are a language for hope.
The ultimate goal for this tribute is to inspire our audience members after seeing this and being captivated by the emotions that the performing arts produce. We hopefully want to inspire people watching to give for this crisis and to be able to help others around the world.